What's up, K-Divas, and welcome back to another sewing vlog. This is going to be a thrift flip. I'm off to search for a blazer jacket, but the plan is to go into a few charity shops and thrift shops to see what I can find, and then maybe combine two different blazers to create something really fun and unique. I do just want to go into a shop and buy a new blazer. I was like, let's try and actually do something that is, thrifted and deconstruct and reconstruct it again. So I make something that is custom to me, it's eco-friendly and sustainable. Why not? That is something that I'm all for in this new year. If you guys do enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what next you want us to try out for a thrift flip in the comment section down below, and let's get on into the video. Now, the first shop I visited was a vintage shop that had a mixture of clothing, homeware, artwork, but they had so many options of like jacket styles. I did find a nice beige brown blazer. It was a good length, good fit. It was a little bit snug when I tried it on. I also checked out to see what else they had in stock. There were some amazing options, but I knew exactly, or I had an idea of what I wanted. This is what the jacket fit like on. I honestly don't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't too expensive. Since I wasn't 100% sure about the first jacket I tried on, I went into a second shop and immediately went into the menswear blazer section, and I found some really cool ones in here. This particular pink, yellow, green, purple situation was so amazing. This was actually a women's wear blazer, and I just got this for myself just because it was so nice. So I went off again into a third stop to see if I could find some amazing options that I could use for this project. Into the fitting room to try on these options. This one. Good old dad blazer. It's literally like a nice sky blue. I haven't tried it on yet. I took two different sizes. I just tried them on to see what they look like. The first one I'm trying on here is this striped menswear blazer. This is a size 38 and it cost £12. It had some pockets and it had double vent on the back. The second one I got was this sky blue blazer with two front patch pockets, and this was a size 36 and cost £8.50. Honestly believe I could have gotten away with wearing this 36 the way it is, but I knew I wanted to make something a bit more special and just play around with both blazers, see what I could create. I ended up spending roughly £20 for both of them, and the colors work really well together. I intentionally got one size bigger and one size smaller because I want to layer panels of one blazer over the other, maybe play around with the sleeve or the collar or the buttons, just to make something that has that deconstruct, reconstruct feel. This stripe one is actually from Banana Republic. It also has some great buttons down the sleeves as well, and it was a very big fit. I always like to plan my designs ahead of time, and this I have done here using my design planner, which you can grab for yourself. The link is going to be down below. You get this body template that allows you to sketch out your design idea. Now, I knew I wanted a panel on the front and then maybe something around the waist as per this inspiration images I found on Pinterest. Once I had a rough idea of what I wanted, I kind of sketched it down, wrote down points before going off to actually wash and iron both of my blazers so they were ready and clean to work with. With my seam ripper, I'm unpicking one side of this striped blazer. This is the bigger one. I unpicked the entire front panel. I unpicked the sleeves, so the separate panels were like this. So I had one side and then the other side that had a little bit of the back, and then the other side the lapel, and then I separated both sleeves because I knew I wanted to do something around the waist with them. I also removed the shoulder pads, so that removes some of the bulk of that blazer. Now I'm just playing around on the mannequin to see where I wanted to place things. I kind of knew I wanted the stripe one on top and maybe have it a little bit longer, and then I'm just pinning in here points that I knew I want to trim off or fold away, so it like wraps around this side of the front and goes a little bit to the back. For the other side that still has the back panel attached, to balance out the weight of this piece, I'm going to put this one underneath and then have the collar go around the back, and then sort of like have this other side go over it like this, so it crisscrosses a little bit underneath the main jacket or the beige jacket. Once I had everything sort of decided, I'm just going in here to fold and sew all of the edges. I want the piece to still look, you know, nice and tidy, so I have folded all of the side seams, all of the parts I kind of like ripped open. I'm going to go in to finish nicely. For this side that is going to sit on top on one side of the blazer, I'm just trimming off a little bit of that measurement so it's narrower on the shoulder and it doesn't have this pointy curve on the back. Because it's a menswear blazer, it's a little bit wide on the shoulder. I'm next going in here to fold in the edges so I can do a nice top stitch to really clean it up along the shoulder and along that arm curve that is going to wrap around to the back of the blazer, because this is actually going to be visible on the front. After tidying up that panel along the shoulder, the arm curve, and the side seam that goes across the back, I'm just placing it on this side of my front and just adding some pins where I want it to be. I don't want it to look like a double-breasted situation, so I've shifted it inwards by about, I'll say 1.5 inch, and then I'm going to move it to reach the back. The back I'm only going to stitch on the top edge because I kind of want it to feel like it's patchwork but intentional. So I'm going to stitch down the shoulder, down the center front, leaving the bottom edge open so it like drops a little bit lower than the light blue one that is underneath. Once that was all done, I went ahead to tidy up the other piece that goes under in the other side of the jacket. This I've like done up along the back, the neckline, and along the arm curve that I ripped the sleeves from. And for this one, I'm actually going to just be stitching along that back shoulder area because I want it to be something that as I'm putting it on, once I pass my arms through and into the sleeve on the other side, it keeps that side of the jacket on. So I'm going to take this memory sheet and just stitch along that back neckline area. Because I'm layering both blazers together, I want to be careful not to stitch in such a way that one side is pulling on the other side. The final change I'm going to make is to trim down the sleeve head so I have a straighter edge along the side of the sleeve. This I'm going to do for both panels of the sleeve. I'm going to keep the lining and the buttons and everything in there because it's going to add a really nice body to this piece. I took this to my machine and I folded it in and hemmed it nicely so there is no raw threads or fabric showing there. So I'm going to go ahead and join this to the waist area to create a belt on both sides. This I've put around the side seam. You would want to play around with the placement of this so they both align. And this I plan to either tie to the front or tie to the back depending on how I'm feeling or the kind of like accessories or the other garments I'm wearing with this blazer. So I'm going to take this to the machine and I'm essentially just going to be top stitching it or stitching it from the right side along the side of the waist area. On this side of the blazer, I only stitched it on the sky blue blazer, so just on that layer, and then on the other side I ensured I stitched through both the striped and the sky blue blazer that was underneath, so that kind of locks everything in place. Once that was done, I gave my piece a nice press to relax all of the stitching, and this is what it looks like all done. It came out so cool. This is the sort of style you would see in shops and you pay like £700 for this type of blazer, and because I've layered two blazers together, it has a really nice weight and body to it. I know this is something I can wear as a blazer on its own with nothing underneath, and then with a shirt. I could also tie the belt to the front or tie it to the back depending on the style and the vibe I am going for. I really enjoyed this project. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it this much. It also was not very complicated to make. I think I spent about a day day, like deconstructing and stitching everything back together, but it definitely helped that I planned the design a little bit, because that guided me when I was at moments I wasn't sure of what I was doing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Otherwise, if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'll be trying this out for yourself, I would love to see your own versions. Feel free to play around with the placements of the different parts of the blazer. I think it's a great way to use up old jackets that are maybe too big or too small, to create something that is unique and fun. Until my next video, have a good morning, afternoon and evening wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Bye.